A Scanner Darkly is a 2006 American animated science fiction thriller film directed by Richard Linklater based on the novel of the same name by Philip K. Dick. The film tells the story of identity and deception in a near-future dystopia constantly under intrusive high-technology police surveillance in the midst of a drug addiction epidemic. Serenity is a 2005 American space western film written and directed by Joss Whedon. It is a continuation of Whedon's short-lived 2002 Fox science fiction television series Firefly and stars the same cast, taking place after the events of the final episode. Galaxy Quest is a 1999 American science fiction action comedy film directed by Dean Brissett and written by David Howard and Robert Gordon. The film follows the adventures of a troupe of actors who defend a group of aliens against an alien warlord. Gattaca is a 1997 American science fiction film written and directed by Andrew Niccol. It stars Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman, with Jude Law, Loren Dean, Ernest Borgnine, Gore Vidal, and Alan Arkin appearing in supporting roles. Dark City is a 1998 neo-noir science fiction film directed by Alex Proyas. The screenplay was written by Proyas, Lem Dobbs and David S. Goyer. The film stars Rufus Sewell, Kiefer Sutherland, Jennifer Connelly, and William Hurt. They Live is a 1988 American science fiction film written and directed by John Carpenter. The film stars Roddy Piper, Keith David, and Meg Foster. It follows a nameless drifter referred to as Nada, who discovers the ruling class are in fact aliens concealing their appearance and manipulating people to spend money, breed and accept the status quo with subliminal messages in mass media. Blade Runner is a 1982 American neo-noir dystopian science fiction film directed by Ridley Scott and starring Harrison Ford, Rutger Hauer, Sean Young, and Edward James Olmos. The screenplay, written by Hampton Fancher and David Peoples, is a modified film adaptation of the 1968 novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? By Philip K. Close Encounters of the Third Kind is a 1977 science fiction film, written and directed by Steven Spielberg and featuring Richard Dreyfuss, Franz Superscript Ois Truffaut, Melinda Dillon, Terry Geyer, Bob Balaban, and Carrie Guffey. Dark Star is a 1974 American comic science fiction motion picture directed, co-written, produced and scored by John Carpenter, and co-written by, edited by and starring Dan O'Bannon. Silent Running is a 1972 environmentally themed American science fiction film starring Bruce Stern, featuring Cliff Potts, Ron Rifkin and Jesse Vint. It was directed by Douglas Trumbull, who had previously worked as a special effects supervisor on science fiction films, including 2001, A Space Odyssey and The Andromeda Strain. THX 1138 is a 1971 science fiction film directed by George Lucas in his feature directorial debut. The film was produced by Francis Ford Coppola and written by Lucas and Walter Murch. It stars Robert Duvall and Donald Pleasence and depicts a dystopian future in which the populace is controlled through android police officers and mandatory use of drugs that suppress emotion, including sexual desire. 2001, A Space Odyssey is a 1968 epic science fiction film produced and directed by Stanley Kubrick. The screenplay was written by Kubrick and Arthur C. Clarke, and was partially inspired by Clarke's short story The Sentinel. Persever la via di un celebre scienziato, vittima di un attentato, alcuni medici si fanno miniaturizzare dentro nel suo corpo. Per arrivare al cervello e operarlo hanno solamente un'ora. La dia di partenza, di genere fantabiologico, significatura di Harry Kleiner, decisamente original e realiticabili effetti speciali. The Time Machine So, also known promotionally as H.G. Wells' The Time Machine So, is a 1960 Metrocolor time travel science fiction film based on the 1895 novel of the same name by H.G. Wells, in which a man from Victorian England constructs a time-traveling machine which he uses to travel to the future where new civilization has gone wrong after a nuclear war. Forbidden Planet is a 1956 American science fiction film from MGM, produced by Nicholas Nafak, directed by Fred M. Wilcox and starring Walter Pidgeon, Anne Francis, Leslie Nielsen, Warren Stevens, Jack Kelly, and Robbie the Robot. The Man from Planet X is a 1951 American science fiction film, starring Robert Clark, Margaret Field and William Shallert. It was directed by Edgar G. Ulmer. The Day the Earth Stood Still is a 1951 American black and white science fiction film from 20th Century Fox, produced by Julian Blaustein, directed by Robert Wise, and starring Michael Rennie, Patricia Neal, Hugh Marlowe and Sam Jaffe. The Invisible Man is a 1933 science fiction film based on H. G. Wells' science fiction novel The Invisible Man, published in 1897, as adapted by R. C. Sherriff, Philip Wiley and Preston Sturges, whose work was considered unsatisfactory and who was taken off the project. Things to Come is a British science fiction film produced by Alexander Korda and directed by William Cameron Menzies. The film stars Raymond Massey, Ralph Richardson, Cedric Hardwicke, Pearl Argyle and Margreta Scott. Metropolis is a 1927 German expressionist epic science fiction drama film directed by Fritz Lang. The film was written by Lang and his wife Thea von Harbu, and starred Bridget Helm, Gustav Frh, Alfred Abel and Rudolf Kleinrock.